Welcome to Muscle Mania. I'm about to body slam you with these 24-inch pythons, brother.
Vladimir Duthier has the story of the man and the mania.
Hulk Hogan! When Hulk Hogan stepped into the squared circle,
the greatest professional athlete in the world today, look at him.
He became the ringleader of a pro wrestling circus, helping turn what was once a carnival attraction into a national entertainment juggernaut.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You are one good-sized person.
Thank you.
One big man.
He was a hulking 6'7", 300 pounds with bulging biceps he named the 24-inch pythons.
The largest arms in the world.
With that trademark handlebar mustache and colorful bandanas covering thinning blonde hair, he sent audiences into a frenzy.
Tonight, the hunter becomes the hunted.
It was called Hulkamania. Hulk Hogan was born Terry Bollea in Augusta, Georgia, August 11th, 1953.
Once I clicked, I was not Terry Bollea. When I went to that ring, I was Hulk Hogan, brother. I'm coming after you, Balboa.
His pro wrestling fame earned him the role of Thunder Lips in the 1982 film Rocky III.
You're in trouble, man.
Hogan's life off the movie and TV screens was turbulent. There was divorce, depression, and steroid use. Audio tape of him using the N-word was made public. And after a website published an explicit video of him, he won a high-profile court battle on invasion of privacy grounds. Hogan jumped from the wrestling ring to the political arena last year at the Republican National Convention in Hulkamaniacal style. Hulk Hogan was 71.
I know because we kind of share the same physique. This won't surprise you, but I used to watch him every day after school.
Like a lot of kids, right?
Yeah.
But unlike a lot of superheroes, Superman, Batman, you couldn't touch him, feel him. He was tangible
Sure.
to a lot of people.
Oh,
Real
yeah,
life
yeah.
superhero.
Massive turnout for WrestleMania.
What's up, Fortress Dwellers? Welcome back to Manny's Fitness Fortress, the citadel of power. Guys, yesterday we lost a legend. Hulk Hogan died at 71 years of age. I can remember when I was young, I used to love the Hulkamania yellow t-shirts and tank tops. Used to rip them from his chest like this. Just rip them to shreds. The cartoons, they had the cartoons with Mr. T, The Undertaker, all these iconic characters from the 80s wrestling. I didn't watch it, but I watched it after the fact, after it stopped airing. I didn't see it when it first came out, but all these iconic characters in wrestling, I used to watch the cartoon. They had the action figures with Hulk Hogan, Andre the Giant, all these guys. And that's kind of when I was just coming into physical fitness and looking at like masculine icons like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, of course Hulk Hogan, the Hulkster, and I used to love seeing him in all these venues outside of the wrestling arena, namely Rocky IV. But guys, let's get into this. Like, subscribe, share, and leave your comments on what you thought about the late Hulk Hogan, how he influenced your life, how he influenced wrestling, and anything else you want to add to the comments. Let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for joining me. And listen, Hulk Hogan, I'm just getting into it. He was a larger-than-life figure to me. When Rocky IV came out, I never saw Rocky IV when it came out in the theaters. I'm sorry, Rocky III. That's not Ivan Drago. Rocky III, I didn't see it. I was too young, I wasn't really into it at that time. But when I did see Rocky III, and I saw this huge, humongous giant, he looked so giant to me at that point. I know Sylvester Stallone is about 5'9" or 5'8", like 5'8", but to me, he looked like he was a 6-foot man, and then Andre the Giant and all these other guys were just creatures, like monsters. So Sylvester Stallone standing next to Hulkamania, you know, the Hulkster, Hulk Hogan, it looked like he was a monster. I said, this guy looks like he's 20 feet tall. And that's the image. That's the idea, the image I had in my head when I was watching Rocky III on screen, when he was throwing Sylvester Stallone all around the ring, and he came back and started punching him in the stomach. I was like, oh my God, this guy's humongous. But I used to love the whole iconic camaraderie around that whole thing. Hulkster, Like his persona in that movie was just like he was in the wrestling matches and in the ring. And like I said, I used to watch a Saturday morning cartoons with the wrestling icons, Mr. T, Clubber Lang, all that stuff. And he was just a real big influence. Some friends of mine used to call me Hulk Hogan just because I was getting big. I was into bodybuilding. I wasn't into wrestling like that, but they still used to call me Hulk Hogan. That was one of my nicknames along with Terminator. But he was such an iconic figure. To me, Hulk Hogan definitely did put wrestling on the map. And you can see these clips from Rocky 3. They're very iconic. When the movie came out, it was just like a spectacle. So I'm gonna get into some of where he died, information that was released so you guys can get some context. And this is from ESPN, WWE expert excerpt from ESPN. So it says, Hulk Hogan, the star who took professional wrestling to the national mainstream, became the biggest money-making draw in the history of the industry, died Thursday at the age of 71. Florida police and WWE said. In Clearwater, Florida, authorities responded to a call Thursday morning about a cardiac arrest. Hogan was pronounced dead at a hospital, police said in a statement on Facebook. There were no signs of foul play or suspicious activity. MAG Nate Burnside told reporters. It's a weird name, but WWE posted a note on X saying it was saddened to learn the WWE Hall of Famer was dead. One of pop culture's most recognizable figures, Hogan helped WWE achieve global recognition in the 80s. That's a fact. WWE extends its condolences to Hogan's family, friends, and fans, it said. Hogan, whose real name was Terry Bollea, had been struggling with several health issues in recent years, including a problematic lingering back injury from his wrestling days. Hogan had not wrestled since 2012, but had been in the news recently as a founder of the Real American Freestyle Wrestling promotion and the owner of the up-and-coming New York City bar opposite Madison Square Garden, the main site of many of his big matches. In 1985, Hogan headlined the first WrestleMania, teaming up with 1980s TV star Mr. T. That Mohawk man was iconic. I pity the fool! I pity the fool! To take on Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff. WrestleMania at MSG drew an audience of around 1 million on closed-circuit television and is credited with taking professional wrestling, especially the then WWF, now WWE, into national zeitgeist phenomenon. Hogan's grudge match with Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. I watched that. That was insane. Took the wrestling business and Hogan's career to new heights. Around 80,000 people filled the Pontiac Silverdome in Michigan for the match. The rematch, several months later on the free-to-air NBC, drew 33 million viewers. That's crazy. This is back then. Hogan was in the main event of several of the first 8 WrestleMania cards. He was the face and hero of the wrestling world, crossing over into the mainstream with tons of appearances on television, talk shows, as well as starring movie roles, including the third Rocky film, where he took on the title character played by Sylvester Stallone, and television, including syndicated Thunder in Paradise in the 1990s. I never saw that. Hogan won the WWF World Heavyweight Championship 6 times, including a reign of 1,474 days. Only Bruno Sammartino and Bob Backlund had the belt for more consecutive days. In 1996, his interest was waning in popularity. Hogan pulled off the biggest heel turn in wrestling history as a second act. Working for WWE competitor World Championship Wrestling, Hogan became a bad guy, leading a dastardly group of invaders called the New World Order. The heel turn 29 years ago this summer captured the public interest in a way wrestling had not since the WrestleMania 1. The NWO with Hollywood Hogan as a vicious frontman wearing black and white rather than his usual trademark red and yellow. Breathed new life into the wrestling industry during the countercultural 90s when the audience demanded a darker and more adult product. See, I didn't know that. Hogan was up to the challenge, helping WCW beat the WWF in television ratings for 83 weeks beginning in 1996. Hogan returned to the WWE in 2002 to face The Rock at WrestleMania 18 in Toronto. His character was the NWO bad guy version, but the more than 68,000 in attendance were not interested in booing Hogan. They cheered him over The Rock. That's crazy. I did hear that. They cheered him over The Rock. Then WWE's biggest good guy forcing Hogan to return home to Florida that weekend to pick up his old red and yellow shirts and wrestling trunks. Damn. Okay, so at that time, The Rock, then WWE's biggest good guy, forcing Hogan to return home to Florida that weekend to pick up his old red and yellow shirts and wrestling trunks. He was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2005. Ric Flair and Triple H were among several notable wrestling icons to react to Hogan's death on social media. And there was a post Ric Flair on his Instagram. Ric Flair, Natural Boy, said, "I am absolutely shocked to hear about the passing of my close friend Hulk Hogan. Hulk has been by my side since we started in the wrestling business. An incredible athlete, talent, friend, and father. Our friendship has meant the world to me. He was always there for me, even when..." Okay. That's just skinny, but that's just a little portion of the post that Ric Flair posted. But yeah, guys, he will severely be missed. That's just a little. I'm not going to read the entire article, so a little more left, but he was to me like, in the same vein, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, all these testosterone heroes for men, for young boys as we grew up. They were like our surrogate father figures outside of the home, you know? Help mold our childhoods, our masculinity. That's right, help mold our masculinity. I know that's a bad four-letter word these days, but yeah, like Rocky 3, I keep saying Rocky 4. Rocky 3 was one of the main things, the main products of media that really affected my life through Hulk Hogan. To me, he outshined even Mr. T in that movie. He was so like larger than life and influential. And at the end of the wrestling match in the movie, Sylvester Stallone said, "What's the deal? Why are you being so crazy?" He said, "That's the name of the game. Ratings, baby." But that was amazing, man. Like I said, I had all the toys. I watched the TV cartoons. It was a phenomenon. The cartoon itself was a phenomenon. That's how popular and how large wrestling was back then. WWF, WWE, whatever. And for me, to me, wrestling would not be where it is today. And who knew if it would have continued at all in that manner, in that fashion, had it not been for Hulk Hogan. So just wanted to pay some tribute, you know, and give notice to what his impact was on pop culture and in the public eye. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me your thoughts. Any of you guys that grew up with him, that had the action figures, your parents maybe, had the cartoons, buy his merch still to today because there's a lot of sports shops that sell it, and how you think he influenced wrestling back then and even till today. All right, thanks guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.